Yo, what it is, you know what it is. It's your man, King Musa. Welcome to First Impression Nacogdoches, the podcast where we showcase the vibrant local businesses, unique brands, and hidden gems right here in our incredible town. We're helping students, parents, and visitors discover what truly makes Nacogdoches special. And I'm your host, King Musa. And today, we're digging into another local favorite you need to know about. Today, we have a very special guest who's making a real impact in our local scene. We're excited to learn more about Mr. JSOUL and Huffie and the Paintfish and more. Before we jump into our chat, let's learn a little bit more about JSOUL. Introducing Mr. JSOUL. Yes. Now, where did the name? Well, before we even jump deep into that, step back, icebreaker, right?
Okay.
Musician, artist in the band. What would you say is your festivals are going on right now, things like that? What would you say was your very first favorite concert, first concert? Any of that?
So first concert was Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. That's when we lived in Alaska.
Okay.
Both my parents were in the military. And favorite concert was 2012 Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
you went to it like okay.
Yeah, that was at the Forum in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So you're big about music. This is crazy. This is not easy.
I have a whole Google Doc with all the concerts I've ever been to, and there's hundreds on there. Yep, I love live music. I love seeing it. I love performing it. Yeah, I love live music.
Okay, so is there a special instrument you play, or you play all of them?
I'm a singer.
A singer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't play anything.
There you go.
Nope.
Hey, but you could be in and everything.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
needs a singer.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do here in Nacogdoches.
All right, so I am JSOUL. I'm originally from Nacogdoches, although I haven't lived here my entire life. I am the founder and lead singer of Huffie and the Paintfish. We're a cover band, and we do we're supposed to be a 6-piece band. We're now an 8-piece band.
Yeah.
And we do just popular covers. We started out as a Hootie and the Blowfish cover band.
Yes.
And then we realized there's so much more outside of them. Like, why don't we just add some more like 90s music, early 2000s. Then that expanded, and then we pretty much do anything as our oldest song that we do is from 84. We do two Prince covers.
Okay.
And then we do songs like they came out last year. So everything in between.
Yeah.
So just a huge range. Every genre you can think of, rock, pop, hip hop, R&B, blues, just like a little bit of everything. We try to make sure that what we play is something that everybody's going to know. Everybody's going to be able to sing along to.
Okay.
No, nothing obscure, nothing. We don't do originals. It's just all covers.
Yeah.
So
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that really brings a greater experience to the atmosphere and everything. Just because sometimes you like independent and new songs, and sometimes you want to hear the things that you love. And when you're having a good time with a bunch of people singing things you love,
absolutely,
makes the experience better.
Yeah. And we have a very vibrant local music scene. I mean, there are a lot of not a whole lot of bands. I think we're one of, as far as like large bands, we're one of maybe, let's say, 3 or 4. But there are a lot of artists, like solo artists and duos and trios and stuff like that. And a lot of them do original songs. A lot of them do, like just pretty much everything. They go back to the 60s or 70s. And I just wanted to create this to just give people that nostalgia. Yeah. Like, no matter what, you're going to know every single song that we do.
Ooh.
And we're very interactive as well. We're very... We're just out there, and we have a good time. If we're having a good time, you're gonna have a good time.
Yes, sir.
So that's our whole thing. And we just won. So Daily Sentinel does the Best of NAC.
Yes.
Every year, and we just won Best of NAC local musician 3rd year in a row. So that's
3-piece.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's our
a hat trick. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that.
Now, before we jump into more accolades and just find out more about y'all, I do want to know, you say you were from NAC? Okay. Now, kind of giving you have other siblings. How did the band come together? What was NAC before Huffie and the
So I was born here. Both my parents were in the military, so we in the Air Force. So we lived, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Anchorage, Alaska, lived in the Shreveport
The
area.
earth was your home.
Pretty much, we were all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
The Washington D.C. area, we lived there for quite a while, and then I moved down here for 2 years
Yeah.
in 2002, and I started going to Angelina, and I got into I was in the show choir, the AC Singers.
Okay.
And the choreographer Stacy, she hit me up one day because I used to do like all the like cutting of the music for our performances, and she asked me if I've ever thought about being in radio.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, every day of my life. And so
So
she,
this is
yeah. So she basically said that her mom is general manager of a country station called KJ 103.
Yes.
And that they were starting a hip hop station, and they were looking for, for on-air personalities. So I went and did my little ghetto, demo tape or whatever.
Hey, you're gonna make it work.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then they hired me
Okay.
in April of 2003. The station launched around April of 2003. So May of 2003 was when I started working there.
What station is this?
It was called V94.7 Jams.
Okay.
It didn't stay around for too long, but they hired me to do the slow jam show at night.
Right.
So that was Sunday through Wednesday nights from 10 to 2. And so I was doing that, and then also doing weekends. Then that station flipped formats, and then they moved me over to the country station. So I was doing that for a few months. And so radio has always been my first love. Yeah, just singing, radio. And then fast forward to 2021, I got an opportunity to first I was on Hot 96.3 for a while, and I got an opportunity to be part of a morning show on 103 The Bull.
Okay.
And I did that for about a good 2 years, and that was a cool experience. Anything having to do with radio. I have my own radio station actually at my house that I run. It's an old school hip hop and R&B station.
Dude, we gotta collab. This is I'm gonna save y'all from all the nerdiness and the geekness, and we're gonna skip past the radio part, right? But you kind of segue us into some of your hobbies and stuff, right? So radio, if you're not doing this stuff, right? If you're not making music, you're not performing, what are your hobbies outside of this?
Just everything honestly is just wrapped around just music.
Yeah.
I do own a trivia company.
Okay.
Been doing that out here since 2021 when we moved out here from San Diego.
Okay.
And I had a trivia company out in San Diego as well that was very successful.
Trivia,
also,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on Thursdays.
Okay.
It's the one of the biggest nights of the week for them.
Yes. They say you got to be there early, 6:30, 6:15.
You got to get there even early. There are people who were there when the gates open. We have to.
Wow.
We have a 30-team limit, and we always reach that limit. We have to turn down like 10, 15 people or teams coming up to register because it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
y'all,
a big draw.
Y'all get to know this now, because you ain't gonna get up there and say, "Well, Musa said they had this going on." And you're just participating. You're watching now. You're watching. You're a spectator because you missed it.
Yeah,
he told you to be there earlier when the doors open.
You gotta be there. You gotta be there.
That's amazing, trivia and all that. Yeah. Now, I do have to ask. Now, how did the band come together? This is everybody's favorite question. How did the band come together? What made you feel like it's time to start a band? All of that.
So back in I want to say it's maybe like 2018, 2019. I asked a friend of mine who I knew played guitar. This is in San Diego, and I asked him if he would ever think about starting a band. He was like, yeah, what kind of music we're gonna do? I was like, how about a Hootie and the Blowfish cover band? And in not such a nice way, he said no. And so yep, pretty much. And he
FCC rules won't let us say what he said.
Right, exactly. We're gonna let you fill in the blanks. But he said his exact words
You're tripping.
He said, I would rather huff paint than to
blow a fish.
than to be in that band. Yeah. And so I moved out here, like probably within the first couple of months. I was like, I noticed that we had a vibrant music scene.
Yes.
So I put it out on Facebook, and I was like, I'm thinking about starting a Hootie the Blowfish cover band called Huffie and the Paint. I mentioned the story in there that my friend told me, and some guy said, I'll only go and see your band if you call it Huffie and the Paint Fish. And that's where the name came from.
Okay, there we go.
We started kind of auditioning people.
Yes.
Had a lot of lineup changes over the years.
Yes.
But we have a really, really solid
Shout out
unit
Haley.
right
She's
now.
doing her thing. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, Haley she came in
the bottoms, boy.
Yeah, she came in for about she was in the band for about a year,
Yeah.
and she was a really good transitional person because we're just trying to change our sound a
Mhm.
lot. But now we have a really tight band. Trey Cartwright is
Yes.
on bass. His son Cater plays trumpet and also sings.
Whoa!
His wife plays ukulele and runs our sound and sometimes sings. So it's like a family affair. It's really cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Cartwright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a very talented family.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, I never would have guessed that. You find out more now. The challenges,
Mhm.
like a cover band is not very easy to get started. It's not
Mhm.
something a lot of people even put respect into, all that stuff.
Right.
What would you say were other challenges the band faced getting started?
Equipment
Okay.
is a real big thing because you have to have enough infrastructure to be able to handle so many different instruments.
Mhm.
Rehearsals, it's hard nailing
Grown
down.
folks.
Yeah, people have lives. This isn't their main job.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's not even a job at all.
Yes.
So trying to nail down 6, sometimes 8 people for like a rehearsal or like a show. We have another guy. He plays keys and saxophone, Jacob Barnhill.
Yeah.
He is by far the busiest man. He's in like 3 different bands. Our guitarist is in like 3 or 4 different bands.
Wow.
So like, trying to nail them down and navigate through that
Mhm.
is just it can be difficult at times. We make it happen.
Okay.
And there's certain gigs that we take, certain gigs that we don't take.
Yeah.
And just basically just trying to figure out what makes the most sense. So that's
Now-
the main thing.
Is that something you're natural of just coordinating people? Because some people that coordinating people to be somewhere at a certain time, I can't even get family to be at a birthday
That part.
at the right time.
Exactly.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I do.
Even
I do.
on time.
Yeah.
So is that something that you kind of have to like learn and grow through and just give space for when it works out when it works out? Or is it something you
Yeah.
have to be so far ahead in thinking?
I'm a planner.
Okay.
I don't do stuff, off, spontaneously. If you can ask, my sister always, hey, we're having dinner tomorrow. And I'm like, I got plans, boo. I can't do that. But, y'all have a good time.
Why you didn't let me know?
Exactly.
You knew you was going to have dinner.
Yeah.
You didn't let me know earlier.
Because I feel anxiety if I'm not planning stuff.
Yeah.
And that comes from, in San Diego, I had I ran a very successful DJ company for 10 years. And so we had DJs, MCs, dancers, we had
everywhere.
roadies, and like we were doing like 2-3 school dances on a weekend.
Mhm.
So that takes a lot of coordination, making sure everybody is where they need to be, and getting the equipment to them, breaking it down, unloading it, all that other stuff. There's a lot that goes into that. So same goes for the band stuff.
Okay.
It's not on as big of a scale as it would be,
A DJ company.
with a DJ company, but yeah, it's still a lot.
Yes,
It's
sir.
still a whole lot.
Okay. Now, that's just some of the challenges, but you've overcome them. Now I want to know kind of what are some of the accolades, some of the success, some of the things that, you want people to know about the band.
So, it's kind of what I touched on before is that, we won, the first time we won Best of NAC was because we finally had a unit together that worked,
Yeah.
that sounded good, that rehearsed, well and rehearsed often. And that, our playlist is, we were playing stuff that other bands weren't playing. And that was very important to me because I don't know how many times I can hear a band play Freebird. I'm not doing that. And you feel my pain. So it just
I don't even know the song, but there's certain things you could hear the same music and you just want to. I'm not going there.
Right.
I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah. And so just having
It's not the Old Town sound, please.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
It's not the Old Town sound.
Yeah, and having that diversity as well of, and all different genres. Like, there's bands that are out here that do classic rock, Americana, stuff like that. And they're good.
Yeah.
That's their niche. That's what they do. You're going to come to our show and you're going to hear Adele. You're going to hear Tracy Chapman. You're going to hear Bruno Mars. You're going to hear Sir Mix-a-Lot. You're going to hear Garth Brooks, Paramore. Like, we do everything. We do Teddy Swims. Like, we do Lose Control. Like, I want everybody to find something in our show that they're going to like. And that's why we try to just let's try this out. Let's try to do this differently. You know, like Baby Got Back. That's one of our biggest ones. It's one of our closers. My goodness, like the way that we were able to take that song, which was definitely made by a computer, and put it to live instrumentation and just make it sound good and have people dancing. That's what I strive to do for this band.
Dude, that's so cool. I'm proud of you, bro. Yeah, that's such a great leadership mindset.
Appreciate it.
Now, I got to talk to the audience, give them the opportunity, you know, to ask their questions. But the question I have for the audience, it's for visitors, right, that are coming into Nacogdoches. They have no idea, you know, where to go, where to have fun, How does a visitor come in contact to finding Huffie and the Paintfish?
Definitely. I mean, we play locally. We also play, you know, shows out of town. We play at least 3 times a year. We play at Fredonia Brewery. We played for the last, I think, 3 years. We played for their birthday, which is the first Saturday in March. And then we're playing again there in September.
Right.
First weekend in September. And then we're playing on November 1st as part of the Dia de los Muertos festival that's happening. We're going to be playing there for that. And even for a show like that, we're going to learn some Selena. We're going to learn some, you know, Suavemente. We're going to learn, like, just to kind of, we try to do that when we have a Christmas show. We learn Christmas songs, you know, just to kind of fit, you know, what we're doing in the occasion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're out there in Tyler, you're out there in Longview, all these little close to Nacogdoches, y'all have a reason to come back to Nacogdoches and come see them. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, I do want to know, students, right? We are one of the pickiest people when it comes to music, live music, just because everything is in our access, you know, so we don't know how to appreciate, right? So how does a students at SFA, Angelina and around the towns, you know, find and embrace the band?
We're very heavy on social media, extremely heavy. Our social media manager is Alex.
Yes.
And it was like pulling teeth to try to get her to be our social media manager, just because she has so many things going on social media for the brewery. And she, you know, obviously she's a professor out at Angelina. So, you know, she's got a whole lot of stuff going on, but she believed in us. She's our biggest fan and she believed in us. And she took that on and she does a bang up job.
That's
like,
amazing.
I don't think our presence would be the way it is if it weren't for Alex. And she just works really hard at that. So we're out there.
Yeah.
We're out there. And, you know, we play, we've done some SFA stuff. We did Alumni Corner last year.
Okay.
Done a couple of events for SFA. But yeah, we're hoping they book us for the bonfire this year.
Noted.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm writing that down.
I'm just
And
saying.
we can get in the right conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I emceed the bonfire last year.
Okay.
And so I can MC and our band can play.
We can request the songs and they
That's
just
what
play
I'm saying.
it. That way we all singing along the things we want to hear.
We right here.
There we go.
You know?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, the people who care about it the most, the ones that keeping the money flowing, the parents, right? Parents are very important when it comes to live music and telling their kids to be able to go out and all that stuff. What is the comforts and security that you're bringing in parents to let them know, hey, we are the band that your kids can listen to and everything's okay?
We're very we're family friendly. I mean, at our shows, you'll have, you know, like toddlers dancing around. You'll have like an older crowd dancing around and everything in between. I mean, we're just people have been like driving down the street and stop to like see, like, oh my God, there's a band actually doing this song, you know, like Uptown Funk. Like nobody does that around here, but you know, we do that. We got the horns and everything. It's very interactive.
Yes.
We're not dirty. We're not, you know, like inappropriate or anything like that.
Out there sloppy, everything.
No.
Controlled.
Yeah, we're
caring for the community.
Exactly. I try my best not to cuss on the mic.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it'll slip out once twice. But
good music is good music. And sometimes it comes out in French.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, you're a rock star. You know, that's kind of what rock stars do. You know?
It comes out in French.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. That's exciting to know that there is security, there is family, there is all community, and then y'all are presence here. So my final question before we go, this will air out during the summertime. This will play out throughout the year. What are all the places and times that we can find Huffie and the Paintfish playing? Presence online, Spotify, all that good stuff. Go ahead and, you know, Plug
Yes.
us in.
So our next show is going to be in Marshall. There's a brewery called Rugenbach in downtown Marshall, and we played there I think 3 times last year. We love playing there. They love having us there. So we're playing there on the 26th, 27th of. I'm looking.
Yeah, you're fine. Take your time. Let's
Look
get
at
it
my
right.
calendar. So many dates to keep up with. Let's see.
And they'll be able to find this online too. So
Yeah.
even if they forget, there's gonna be
Yeah, Alex posts like an itinerary of like where you can find us
on Instagram or what?
on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the account that they're gonna follow on Instagram?
At Huffie and the Paintfish. That's at Huffie and the Paintfish.
Paintfish.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then so we're gonna be at in Marshall on the 26th of July. We're gonna be at Fredonia Brewery on September 6th. We're gonna be in Lufkin at South First Bar and Grill for the second time. That's gonna be the end of September. And then got a couple of private parties in October, but then the 1st of November, that's when we're going to be back at the brewery.
So East Texas, the Piney Woods, they gonna be here. Y'all get the chance.
Yeah.
School starts in August. I'm letting y'all know ahead of time. Be there, and I'm super excited. Hopefully, we can see them at the bonfire.
Yeah.
And just thank you, JSOUL, for taking the opportunity.
My pleasure.
Of having this interview.
Yeah.
So a massive thank you to our amazing guest, Mr. JSOUL, the leader of Huffie and the Paintfish, for sharing his insight and giving us such a great look into what makes Nacogdoches unique. Remember, our town is full of incredible local businesses, hidden gems, and First Impression Nacogdoches is here to help you find them. Subscribe and stay connected on social media and join our community. Until next time, this is King Musa signing off. Go out and explore Nacogdoches. Thank you.